Hello to you all. My name is Anubhav Kashyap, and today is my first video on YouTube as a student, and I'm sharing all the knowledge that I have regarding the GATE preparation to GATE counseling, and I will share you how I got IIT Hyderabad with less than 400 GATE score, even with even with the branch of CSPL, and I also got IIT Mandi MTech or VLSI with this GATE score. So technically jumping right into it, I would like to share that MTech in IITs requires three things. Basically, it is broadly characterized into three subcategories. So MTech is first category states TA, which is a teaching assistant. Okay. This is why we all get the stipend amount of 12,400 by MHRT. And there is also a category which is called RA, which is called Research Assistant. Okay. And this is funded by the project and the supervisor itself or the industry sponsored. We can have varied stipend, but it is nearly about 14,000 rupees. Okay. Then there is a third category also, which is not people are so familiar with, which is self-sponsored category. Self-sponsored category is basically the category in which you are not given any gate and you don't have any eligible gate score, but you still want to get IIT MTech seat. Okay. So in this, we usually have we have college CGPA as a criteria for shortlisting. Okay. So I will talk morely about this teaching. We usually people know about this TA way, how which we can get as a TA, the MTech, normally 2 years fresh. We have 1 year. What in I will be referring more to the IIT Hyderabad as an MTech course curriculum, where in the first year itself we have to cover all our course requirements, which is 28 credits, and followed by in the 1 year we will have a research oriented program or a thesis based thing. Okay. And whereas in RA basically is a 3 year course, 3 year course in which we are required to have 1 year as a coursework and plus 2 year as a project or a research area in which we are working on. Work. Okay. So basically in first year coursework, RA can split it into like 26 credits. It can be split up into 10 or 6. Whereas in this we don't have any flexibility of splitting the 26 credits. We have to complete it by 13 plus 13, or we have to complete by any other combination so that we can satisfy all the requirements for for the course curriculum. So it is a bit hectic, but usually people try to get this TA generally because of the it requires less time and the course curriculum is so designed to get a good placement in a less number of time, but it becomes hectic sometimes, which I see because you need to complete the 26 course credits as well as you have to maintain CGPA, and maintaining CGPA in a place like IIT is a bit tough when you are competing with all of the best peer in Europe. So it becomes a bit hectic, but people usually manage. And if and now I will come into the particularly for the electronics people, and I will not be talking about the electrical because I don't have any knowledge of that, so I won't be able to guide you much. But I have the knowledge of the electronics gate, so I will be sharing all that thing. So mostly people have this in the RA. People usually split, and so it will be less hectic, but it requires more time. Okay, It requires more time, but you will be learning a lot in your research area if you are working in any project or the government sponsored project. Okay, or you have been working on any college sponsored projects or research area. You will be learning a lot under your guide. And usually in self-sponsored project, self-sponsored category, it is same like TA, but the difference in between is the fee structure. The fee structure I will be talking about, but the fee structure in self-sponsored mainly is like 13 lakh for for 2 years, and which means, and there is a catch that 20,000 per credit is has to be deposited to the college, and we need to complete certain criteria, certain credits, which sum up to like 13 lakh roughly. So it is good for the people who are not given the gate, but it is very hectic or it is very difficult for someone the coming from the very not so privileged background, it is very difficult to get this. But usually, if you get any self-sponsored seat, there is a facility by the IIT Hyderabad where there is a bank in the IIT Hyderabad campus which gives you loan, study loan very reasonably at the reasonable interest rates, and you can pay off it in the long run. So if you're getting a good branch in this self-sponsored category, it is beneficial for you to get this. You know, what I feel like it is better to get this self-sponsored seat if you're getting it in a good branch like VLSI or CSPL, and even for the electrical guys, even if getting the PEPs and system and control. I'm not talking about more about these two branches because I'm not aware of these right now. So if you can check the stats of the placements, if you're getting in these branches and you're sure that these placement stats is good about this branch, go for it. There's no problem in getting the self-sponsorship because it is the same as that of the MTech 2 year. It's just you will not be getting any stipend of 12,400, and the fees for the TA people are less, but they are coming from the gate, so it requires basically more amount of effort. And usually it is not general, but usually people who get into the TA are usually droppers, mostly, which I've seen. It is not general term, but I've seen this kind of trend. So it is better to save your 1 year by getting if you are getting the self-sponsored seat in here. Okay. So right now I am a research assistant in IIT Hyderabad under the branch of CSPN. Okay. So, and I came here. I will show you how many branches they have and how the shortlisting comes and how many times that intake come for the RA. So there's a catch for RA. It is specifically this video is more specific towards the RA because I'm telling you how to get a seat in IIT under the gates for less than 400. Okay. So, in order to get an RA is basically the same coursework, but you are giving 2 years of yours to the sponsored, like a research area or the research field in which you will be working on, right? So, in my domain, which I will be talking about CSPL stands for Communication, Signal Processing, and Learning. Okay, signal processing and learning. So basically, in this branch, we will be dealing with communication, signal processing, and learning. And basically, learning is a perspective, or learning is the term related with the machine learning and stuff. Okay. So how I got this, I'm not going deeper into this branch. I will be making a separate video for that if you want to share down the comments if you want that. So I will be more talking about how we can get this RA. So in a 1 year, there are two intakes for the RA. Generally, the first intake is in the August and second intake is in Jan. Okay. So if you have messed up with your gate score and you're not able to get a good seat in any of the IITs, you can join any other institute and get and wait for the Jan intake, which generally opens around October, and you can fill up the form and the get shortlisted and come for the several interviews and the exam. So coming here, so when I filled the form for the RA, I forgot about that, and surprisingly, I was shortlisted for it, and I got the mail and the shortlisting form list around 26th of June, something, 26th of June. And my interview was shortlisted for 9 July to 10 July. Okay, 9 July to 10 July. So here for RA, how this thing works is first you need to be shortlisted on the basis of gate score. You will be shortlisted based on the gate score, and here will be I will be sharing you this the IIT Hyderabad Department of Electrical Engineering coursework where I can show you this MTech TA, MTech RA, and self-sponsored. Okay. Now here we can see there is a list of how many people were shortlisted for the MTech RA written shortlisting. Okay, right? We can see. So here are the number of candidates who were there in the MTech RA shortlisting, and that if you can see the list number is huge, and most of the people were shortlisted for micro VLSI. So I have known the fact that most of the people who were just qualified and just par by 2 3 marks are shortlisted for this. So if you're shortlisted for the your qualified gate, I am pretty sure that you will be shortlisted for this year. I'm not a I'm not talking about the others prior years, but this year they got shortlisted for if they are gate qualified. Okay, so I will be sharing you this. This is the data. So 300 people were shortlisted, and according to 300, I will be sharing you. And in at this, when I came to the IIT Hyderabad, so there was the written exam for this for the several branches which we were shortlisted for. The written exam was for the CSPL list was for 40 marks. Okay, 40 marks. And the 40 marks exam paper were conducted in for when within 1 hour, I guess, 1 hour, and the cutoff was around 12 marks. Okay, and the amount of people shortlisted for that, I guess we can see from here also. Uh, the people who were shortlisted for it, uh, I'm not able to find it right now, but I'll be showing you how many people were shortlisted. It was around are shortlisted for the interview. We can see from here that the amount of people shortlisted for the CSPL interview were around like 40 or 35. So we can see that the 40 to 35 people were shortlisted from the bunch of 500 to 3 400, nearly 400 people. And most of the people don't come, around 200 to 100 people usually come. So from that, it was 30 to 45 students were selected, and then 32 out of 30 to 45 they were screened through an interview. It is then followed by an interview, and I am if I'm aware of my written exam. After that the next day I was having my interview in the slot of 2 to 5:30 p.m. Okay, so it was followed by an interview. In this interview I will be more talking about this interview in the later videos, but interview is basically the only it is a it is the only way through which you can get shortlisted or you will get the entry. So this is the most important thing. If you are done, if you are even the highest scorer in this written exam and you are not having that proper answer for their question, they won't select you. They have the scene. And I will be sharing my marks in this exam, and you will be surprised to know how much marks I got, and still I got shortlisted, and I am in CSPLRA because I gave the right answer for these interview questions. So basically, in this interview, there was in my time there was panel one and panel one and panel two. So basically, panel one was consisting of three profs, and followed by panel two, there was around 4 to 5-ish profs in that. So in the first interview, in the first panel, they asked me what are my area of interest and what I am familiar with. They gave me the option for linear algebra and probability. Okay, and similar question, but they in this they generally asked me what was my BTech project, and and they didn't give any choice, and they started asking me the probability questions. And the questions I will be surely talking about in the later stages of the videos and the prior next videos. But they asked me about this. The interview lasted for more, not more than 15 minutes, and they were asking about probability, linear algebras, and all. And in this also panel one, they asked me about which is your area of interest and which are you more comfortable with. I talked about the linear algebra. So then they started asking about the question of the linear algebra. They were they I'm just for a tip or the suggestion from my end like this in these kind of interviews, the people are not trying to get they are not seeking the right answers from you. The right answers come, it is good. If they're not able to make sure that the answer is coming right, you can make sure the thing is that you are on the right approach. The guide which I am having right now told me that we are not looking for the right answer. We are looking for the person who is showing the right approach of the answer. Right? Who is giving it the right approach. If the approach is right, you will surely getting the answer not today but tomorrow. But the thing is, if you are not on the right approach, you won't be getting that answer. The getting the answer is not that important, but having the right approach, which is the most important thing in these kind of interviews. If you are able to show that your approach is right, you will be and how you are thinking about things, just start to segment it into the fewer segments and try to by bit show them the step one we will do this, step two they will do this, and step three we will do this, and tell them how you're thinking about the particular question they are asked for. Okay, so this thing lasted for 15 minutes for both the panel, and 30 to 45 people were shortlisted in this kind of interview. And I will show you how many people were selected in this. So there's a list from the IIT Hyderabad site. I am referring to that. So from you can see here the CSPL branch. You can see there are 12 people only shortlisted from this branch particularly, and one is in the waiting list. Okay, that means that only 12 people were shortlisted after the 30 to 40 student who was shortlisted. The 12 student was shortlisted for final. They will be offered a seat as a CSPL RA this year, right? So you can see how things work. I have shown you what is the full flow chart, how things work, and when how many times that they intake RAs and how. If you want, I can make the separate video for TEA self-sponsored. I have several friends in the self-sponsored category and several friends in the TEA. If you want me to show you what was my interview experience and how to prepare for the interview, I can surely do that. If you can have any doubts on this kind of preparation videos and all, I can make video on that also. You can comment me down and you can reach out to me through my contact list or the contact menu. And surely I will be making more videos if I have time. Thank you.